From business trends to mom, life's delight. She means business, a powerful sight. Sylvia and Jay, a dynamic duo, sharing wisdom, a powerful view. Elevating women, breaking the mold. The stories inspiring, brave and bold. So tune in weekly for the latest scoop. She means business, beyond the scope. A podcast powerhouse, a force to see. Empowering women, wild and free.
Welcome to the She Means Business podcast. I am your host, Jay Renee, and we also have our host here, Sylvia, where we take charge, mold decisions, and transform ambition.
We are moms, business owners, and good human beings.
Good human beings.
So today we're going to talk about pretty much our goals for 2025. Happy New Year, everybody. Glad to see you made it. But before we dive into our goals for 2025, we have to talk about some of the things we got to let go, sis.
Yes, I have a lot to let go. I'm not going to, if I talk about those, we'll be here all day, right? Oh. So I'm going to start with some very small ones, just to get us started. As a matter of fact, you go first.
Okay.
Tell me what you got first.
I think my goal to let go in 2025 is helping people, going out of my way to help people. I feel like the continuance of me doing that causes me to be in a bad mood. Because you want to help people, you want people to succeed, but people are not always ready to go as fast as you are.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that takes time. It takes time to learn that because people are not going to always move the way that you want them to. Like, one thing about me is I feel like I can see a clear vision of how we can solve this problem, right? We can solve this problem if we take this step first, then 2, then 3, whatever. I can see that. Yeah. But somebody else might not be able to see it, right? So you get kind of frustrated trying to help people because it's like, well, I told you that if you did it this way, or I could assist you with this way, and then they're like on their own path. So it's like, it only helps someone who wants to be helped.
Yeah, and then 2, I think it's the lack of consistency in a way. So it's just like, I know for me, being a business owner has led me to be consistent if I want good results.
Yep.
So whether I'm having a bad day or a good day, I still have to get up and be consistent.
Does not matter.
It don't matter what it looked like in the background. Like, you still have to show up. And I think that is a hard concept for people to grasp. And so for me, I want to get better at allowing people that grace and that space to grow.
Yes.
And me not be a part of it.
Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah,
that's a really, really tough one. I'm going to lighten it up a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to lighten up just a little bit. So, in 2025, people, leave in 2024, and I said it on my Facebook last week, is RSVPing for things and not showing up. So, as an event planner, I'm not just talking about just for my events. I'm talking about for some of my clients. I see them planning and then putting together their money because they're expecting 60 people, right? 60 people said they were going to come. And only 40 come, and we've got 2 empty tables. We've got all this extra food. Do your friend, your business colleagues, whomever, a favor, and when you RSVP that you're going to come to something, show up. If you can't show up, give them ample notice and let them know. Now, we know emergencies happen, so we're not talking about those types of situations. We're talking about you just deciding that the couch is a little bit more comfortable than you getting up and getting dressed and showing up like you said you were. So stop doing that in 2025.
Well, I guess she told y'all a little bit.
Yeah, I understand because I want to listen. There's a lot of times when I just want to take the couch route.
And that was supposed to be light, y'all. That was supposed to be light. She was lightening the load. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying.
I am going to say with that, too, it's like, if things are free and people don't have to pay or invest things into them, then they really don't even look that deep into it. It's like, okay, well, I'm not going to go. I'm just going to stay home.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but when someone is actually paying for you to be there and they're putting extra alcohol on the bar or whatever because they think that you're going to show up, do them that courtesy of just saying you're not going to be able to make it if you're not going to be able to make it. I think it's a really big deal. Yeah. I think that that's something that we really need to work on. Yeah.
I agree. And so we're going to jump into our next topic, which is lifestyle. So we want to talk about why we got started into the lifestyle that we're in now.
Yeah.
and looking at, I know for me, I was looking for flexibility. I want to be able to do what I want when I want. And it was not like that for like the first 2 or 3 years.
No. But see, as an employee, so some things that I've learned, like being an employee, it's like I don't have the ability to come in when I want to, leave when I want to, all of the, I just don't have that flexibility. Yeah. So I thought being a business owner would provide that, right?
We thought wrong.
You definitely thought wrong.
And it's like when you're in charge of making the money, like you have to be the everything, the graphic designer, the customer service, the HR, you got to be everything. And I don't think as an employee, when you're like jumping off, like I'm going to start my own business and I'm leaving here in a year, I tell people like, wait a minute, like wait before you do it, because if I had to do it all over again, I would have done things a lot different.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I would have, for me, I was an employee and I worked the job, I think for like 3 or 4 years, and I was in commercial real estate. And so for me, I felt like I started off in the mailroom actually. I've done
that before. No,
I was like,
no judging.
When I started off in the mailroom, I came the first day, my supervisor had cigarette ashes in her hair. I said, I should have known that if she was stressed out, that
you was going to be stressed out,
I was going to be stressed out, right? So she had cigarette ashes in her hair. So I'm like, okay, never mind. But I had just came from a temp agency as a contractor, so it wasn't as stable as having a job.
Yeah.
So I left the contracting company, started working in the mailroom, and by the time I left, I worked in the real estate department. So I was the real estate coordinator, and they were doing, it was like the holidays, and holidays and being an employee, layoffs are coming.
Yep.
So they actually fired an entire department. It just so happened, I don't know how I made it through, but I ended up like running the entire department for probably about 6 months. We went from 4 people to just me.
Wow.
I knew how to do everybody's job. And I think that's one thing about me. Like I have photogenic memory. I can like remember things. I can remember people's names.
Photogenic memory.
Yeah. Like I can take a test and like, I don't know, God, he just blessed me. And so,
I am directionally blessed.
Yes.
So, while I may not remember everything that way, but I can, if all you gotta do is take me somewhere one time.
Oh, you can remember?
Yeah.
And so I ended up working that job. And with me working that job, I ended up negotiating to be a contractor, because although I had ran the entire department for 6 months, they came back and told me that I wasn't qualified for the position.
Oh, yeah, that's what they do.
I was like, what? So I put in my 2 weeks notice. Once I put my 2 weeks notice in, I was making probably around $14 or $15 an hour as an employee. And I negotiated my first contractor under Personamit Solutions, my business, at $50 an hour. I tried to get 75 and they was like, no, we'll give you 50.
Yeah, you ain't quite there yet, buddy.
Yeah.
Hold your horses.
But, imagine going from making, anywhere, I was like $1,400 to $2,000 a month to making $8,000.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
I wasn't, and that's why I think it's very important that people work for a company and get a feel of how to maneuver and run a business before they actually jump out and do things. Because you need to see all different parts.
Yeah.
And even though I worked in the finance department, I didn't really look at budgeting back then.
Yeah. Fun fact about me is that when I was an employee, I worked maybe 25 jobs. Okay.
I'm making faces, but I had 25 jobs before I left for the Army.
Oh, wow. Stop it, please. She left. We're not even going to talk about how young she was when she left for the Army.
Oh, my goodness.
But I had lots of jobs. I worked in banking, passports. I did HR. I worked at the Waffle House. I worked at Walgreens. I worked at Walmart, all the big W's, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, I would say I have a lot of experience. It's not always a good thing to have that many jobs, but having that many jobs, I did take away I did gain a lot of experience, and I did get a lot of management experience. Like when I worked at Lowe's, I was a manager at Lowe's. So I gained a lot of experience that way. But the problem was it always came to an impasse for me. Mm-hmm. I want to do more, or like I'm ready to move up to the next level, and they're like, you've been here 6 months, you're not going to be promoted, right?
But you don't get that
But
either.
it's hard for me to understand like why. I mean, I understand it. I know I can do this, and I watched a lot of companies, do their thing, and on the back end, I'm like, this is what I would have done, or this is how I would have done it, or blah blah blah. So that's when I kind of realized like maybe I do need to do my own thing, And like you said, there's things that I probably could, I should have done differently, because I got really excited when I first got, one of my biggest contracts, thinking that, okay, I'm going to continue to get these big contracts. And not saying that you shouldn't be optimistic that you can't get these contracts again, but that doesn't mean, okay, it's now you can quit your job and you're going to be, financially free. No, that's just not how it works. You got to work at that next contract. You got to find it. You got to have the resources. You got to have all those things before you can move into something like that. So that's the reason why it's important when you go from employer or employee to contractor or to your own business to business owner, that you do it in a step-by-step process. You just can't wake up tomorrow and say, I'm going to quit my job, open up this business, and, spend all your savings, and you just live happily ever after. Yeah. It has happened for some people like that, but unfortunately, that's not most of us, right?
It's not reality, and I think social media has us so caught up in like the instant gratification that's going to happen fast, and sometimes it takes 5-7 years to see results.
Exactly.
And if you're a business and you make it past 5 years, you're definitely doing something amazing, because it's so hard to run a business. And that's why I said I've been a full-time business owner now since 2021. So that's when I left that company, and before I actually left, I was hired on back as an employee.
Yeah.
But y'all, I'm not even gonna tell y'all that story, because
Are you sure you don't want to?
I'm not gonna tell y'all the story.
So, but another thing that social media does do is it discourages employees. So one thing that I am going to say is nothing wrong that if that's the route that you want to go. If you do want to be an employee, if you want to work for a company and climb up the ladder and become a manager, become a CEO for a major company or whatever, that's your decision. So there's nothing wrong with being a 9-to-5er. So social media will make you think, oh, well, you're just making money for someone else. Yeah. Well, if that's the way that you want to live, if that's your family structure, there is nothing wrong with having a good job or with having fillers in between while you're building your business. There's nothing wrong with that. It's absolutely okay.
And I would say it's nothing wrong with if you are a business owner right now, you feel like you're having a tough time and that you might need to get a job to sustain. Like there's nothing wrong with that. It's nobody's business. A lot of times we think people are going to be judging us, but at the end of the day, like who has to pay your bills?
Yeah, exactly. That was enough. Who pay? Are they paying your bills? Are they paying your bills? If they're not paying your bills, then it's not your concern. You can do whatever you need to do for your family, for your business, for your mental health, for your growth. Yeah. If that means you need to take a sabbatical and take some time to just focus on yourself, you can do that. That is okay. Everyone has their own path. One thing that I decided to do when I was trying to make some little extra money while I was still working, one of the first businesses that I did was an Amazon business. And it was a little bit more complex than what it seems. But it's not as complex as it seems. I just came up with the product that I did was a tea. It was called I can't even remember what it was called. It was like a 14-day detox tea. And all I did was I got on the line with some folks over in Alibaba, right? Branded it, ordered it in bulk, shipped it off to Amazon, and marked it up. And every day I was waking up with money in my account from people purchasing that tea online. It's all about how you structure it, the words, the keywords that you use.
And that's why I'm looking at you like that, because I've tried Amazon so many times, and it's like I can never get past the part of setting up a seller account.
Oh, yeah. Setting up the seller account is probably the most difficult part. I literally used YouTube when I did that, and then it became repetitive. Yeah. It is not easy. Like everything that I sent into Amazon had to have its own separate barcode, has to have its own classification. They need to make sure that it's not something that'll explode or that is, whatever.
And what about when it comes to like trademark items or items that's like intellectual?
So like there's like a GTIN number that you're supposed to get. Okay. So you have to go through the process of getting that number.
Getting approved to sell
making sure that it's something that you can sell. Okay. And it's okay. It doesn't have to be something that's totally trademarked. So like I would recommend that, but it doesn't have to be trademarked. Like literally you can decide that you want to sell. So like this is a good example. During the summertime, something that sells a lot are the utensils that a person uses on a grill, right? you can buy those utensils in bulk, right? Package them and send them to Amazon and sell them for your price. So something to remember is that every time you're buying something from Amazon, you're buying something from an entrepreneur. Most of the time, unless it's like a big brand or something like that, they still started as a small company, but unless it's like a big brand or something like that, a lot of those items that you're buying from Amazon and Walmart online, those are actually small businesses that are just sending in their product and using Amazon and Walmart as a funnel, right?
I agree, and I think that one of the things that people use to get there is strategy.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that people don't realize that they need. You can have all of the, I got the information, the courses, the classes, but if you don't have any strategy, then how are you going to even get to the sales portion? And so for me, with Amazon store, I didn't have the strategy.
Yeah, it is not for everybody, but it definitely is something to consider if you're looking to make some type of income in your sleep.
I think it's definitely nice.
It is. Yeah. I think I spent probably $1,200 on product, and then I'm seeing a return. A huge return. And you guys, we are in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
So you hear sirens. Don't be surprised.
Right.
We're in Fayetteville, North Carolina. They have been turning up in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Yes, okay. So watch out. Cumberland County is where we will be looking tonight to find out what that was about, okay?
Yes. So when you talk about, thinking about starting a business and being a business owner, I think there are some tools that people need to know about. So I've been using ChatGPT like it's going out of style.
Yes, I ain't heard the end of ChatGPT from you.
I'm going to use it for everything. So I'm going to give y'all a couple tools that y'all can use. So make sure that you look them up. The first one being Flicky. And Flicky is a tool that you can basically create an AI script using ChatGPT, load that script into Flicky, and then it will create videos for you.
What's that called again?
Flicky. So it's Flikki.
Flicky.
Yes.
All right, shout out to Flicky.
Yeah, we're going to drop the link in the description for y'all.
Yes.
But so basically what I use Flicky for is to make commercials for my business. So I don't like my voice. Can't believe I'm doing a podcast. But
really?
Yeah, I cannot stand hearing my voice. So I use Flicky, and Flicky has it to where if you pay for the subscription, you can get as many voices as you want.
Really?
And pretty much speed it up, slow it down, or whatever, but it comes out amazing. I have some YouTube videos on my channel. I can show you.
All right.
So the next one is ChatGPT. We've all been hearing about ChatGPT, and if you have not tapped into ChatGPT yet, you definitely need to. You can pair ChatGPT with AI Warehouse. Have you ever had an AI Warehouse?
No, enlighten me. I'm sure you will.
Okay, so AI Warehouse is a website that houses like so many different AI tools that you can use for your business.
Okay.
From prompting, which is really important with ChatGPT. You need to know what to tell ChatGPT so it can give you the right information.
And I think a lot of people struggle on that part, is the prompting part, because I'm still working on that myself. So
yeah, and it's as simple as you having a conversation, or me and you having a conversation, and you say to yourself like, dang, I want to know how I can increase my marketing or increase my sales. The only way you really can do that is based on you already documenting your processes of how much your products cost, how many clients and stuff you want to service, and you can load that information into ChatGPT. And if you stick to the plan and don't deviate, don't look at nobody else's paper, don't look at what nobody else is doing, then the strategy will help and you just stay focused.
But the key part is uploading that data so that it can actually start working, directly on what you got going on.
Right. Not just something out of the sky.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it needs to be something that's specific to you. And the last one is a game changer is Canva. Bolt Create.
We all use Canva. Oh, well, hold up, because you threw some Bolt Create in there.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead.
So Canva Bolt Create, I actually discovered this by looking on TikTok. So if you go to TikTok and you do Canva Bolt Create, the videos will come up, and basically what it does, it allows you to create hundreds of pieces of content in 5 minutes. So you just would go to the Canva system, pretty much pick out whatever kind of template you want. And then once you pick out that template, then it'll allow you to select the area where you want to drop the information. And so let's say you have a tool where you say, okay, I want to have 100 quotes that I want to post for this month. You can take that 100 quotes in a spreadsheet and upload it to Canva, and then it will allow you to create that content. So something fast and easy.
Oh, yeah, that's really
those 3 tools alone. If you focus on a niche and focus on servicing your customer, you can streamline your processes too.
With Canva, bulk create.
Yep.
So I use Canva all the time. I think that everyone uses Canva, right?
Yeah.
If I talk to a business owner and they're like, "Oh, I've never used Canva before," I'm really questioning what's going on with them. Like, why?
Right.
So
But you got to think about too. Some people know about Poster My Wall. Have you
oh
ever
my
heard of
gosh,
that?
Poster My Wall. I was using that like 2012. Okay.
Yes.
And you can always tell Poster My Wall. A flyer, it's that same font. Like, people just change the font. Don't
No.
pick the first one you see and change the font, because we know it's Poster My Wall.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But Poster My Wall, I guess, got outbeat by
Yeah,
because
Canva really
like busted
outdid that.
And you know what's crazy is ChatGPT is now connected to Canva, so you can go into ChatGPT
Yep.
and say, "Hey, create me some social media posts using Canva or whatever," and it'll populate it. It may not look as good, but
Yeah,
They're working on it.
I mean, there's a lot of different things that I've noticed that have integrated with using AI. For instance, there's a form builder that I use. It's called Cognito. We're giving away all of our stuff. Okay?
I used Cognito forms back in the day. Now I use an all-in-one system. I keep on trying to tell you about.
We know.
She gonna use
But I just
Cognitos.
I've been using Cognito since like 2009. One of these days I'm gonna tap into what she's talking about.
I love
okay?
it too, though. Honestly, Cognito Forms is one
It
of those
was
systems.
really good. Right?
It's so easy.
Yeah, it was really good. And now you can go into Cognito and do new form and scroll all the way down, like on the template page, and you can say create a form that builds blah blah blah. Yeah.
And ask for this information.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it will create that form for you. And you might have to do some little changes or updates or whatever, but for the most part, it works. And I'm like, okay, so that's working. Even on my merchant system now, when I'm putting in descriptions for products, it's asking me like, do you want to make this more professional, or do you want to make this shorter? Like, because it's using AI to transcribe those words, right?
Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
And what I
really good
hear
thing.
too is, I hear you a lot saying, make it yours. Like a lot of people use AI and ChatGPT, and they use exactly what the system gives them. It's like, no, you have to make it yours. You have to customize it to fit your situation.
Yeah, because you can go in ChatGPT and ask for a Instagram caption or a Facebook caption, and I can tell immediately when I see that someone has done that.
Yeah.
One, they're using all the same emojis that is because
I am thrilled.
Those emojis. Yes, like come on.
But
we
know what? I don't even care no more.
Yeah.
You know why? Because big corporate companies are sending me emails and they're like taking it straight from ChatGPT.
Yeah,
and
they
putting it
are.
in there. I think getting it done is better than worrying about whether or not it's
Yeah. Me, I'm just very funny. Like, I really want it to look like it's coming from me, right?
Yeah.
And so while I may have got a little help from it, I'm still going to try to customize it a little bit to sound a little bit like Jay, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everyone doesn't have to do that. You can kind of do your own thing, but I really, really want it to sound like it's coming from me. So I'm using it. I'm definitely leveraging it for my business. And as a matter of fact, we're going to be doing some classes on that pretty soon.
Yeah.
We're going to be launching the Creative Campus.
Sounds fun.
For creative success for adults, right? And so that's one thing that we're going to be talking about. So we're going to plug that information here as well so that you guys can get signed up and you can meet some of the speakers and instructors that will be doing that Creative Campus. It's a 6-part series. And it starts, it's going anywhere from finances to learning different business resources, grants, funding, mental health. We've got some doctors coming in to kind of go over that because that's, again, we've talked about that before. I'm not going to get into that big this year, but mental health is a big thing. And that's something that I forgot to talk about earlier. Let's go back real quick. So Christmas, just came and went. And I felt like my mental health was tested really big this Christmas. So every year I go through this thing called seasonal depression, and I'm very open about it. I actually did a Facebook post to let people know, like, don't be running up on me thinking you're gonna get hee because I don't know what you're gonna get
Today
in
is not
December.
the day.
Okay. So every year I try to prepare myself for going into this seasonal depression. I don't know where it comes from. I think that for Christmas is the meaning behind it, we all know the traditional meaning behind it. It's the birth of Jesus Christ, and we're supposed to be celebrating all of that. And I'm okay with that part of it. The other part of it, I'm not. So the part of us, like, you know, the hustle and bustle, every time you go to the store, there's a million people there. There's traffic every single place that you go. You're spending all your money.
I don't mean to cut you off, but spending our money on toys that today I just cleaned up my living room and I swept every one of those toys up off the floor. So it's like, why am I working to spend my hard-earned money to...
Yeah, if this is not something that I do regularly, I don't want to be forced to do it this time of the year. Like, as I'm spending this money, like, my heart is just... Because I'm thinking of all the things that I could do, better things I could do for my family besides going out and buying them things that are only going to be valuable to them, especially kids, for like 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? 2 weeks.
I lost my mom points because I bought slime for Christmas.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Now, you know, that's my brother did that. He bought slime. My mother was like, where are y'all going with this? Where are you going? You know, like, I just think that I want to do things differently. So looking into 2025, as we spoke about earlier, 2025, I want to do more. So, like, maybe we do a family trip.
Yeah.
Or, you know, just something different. I've never made a big deal about Christmas for my kids, so they're not like looking for a million gifts under the tree. But I want them to understand the true meaning of togetherness and family and all of that, and not spending money and, you know, getting together and tee-heeing, and, you know, when it's really, everyone doesn't feel that way around this time of year. So going next year, 2025, I am looking into doing a family trip, doing something different and not the running around and the traffic and all of that. Like, there was even like some type of like thing happened at Target.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All types of things happening during the holidays. 'Cause people are losing their minds trying to meet the standards that, you know, unreasonable standards that we have as parents and in general.
As you were saying that, I can say that I am proud of you for coming to that realization. You know, a lot of times people don't realize, okay, if I have an issue internally or I have something going on with me, there's probably nothing that anybody on the outside can do about it. But so then you have to realize internally, look, okay, I'm going to do something different.
What can I do different?
Yeah.
Right?
So that's a big step.
Thank you for acknowledging that, because I really thought I was crazy on Christmas. Like, I was sitting at the dinner table and I just walked out like, okay, my family like, where's she going? I'm home. I'm going to sleep. You know, I'm asleep like this day away.
Oh,
yeah, it definitely was like the Grinch, you know, and you know what's bad? Like, I'm tearful. I'm in the bathroom like, get it together. You know what I mean? You know, like, woman up.
I definitely get it, though.
And I don't understand where that's coming from. So I literally was like, I was on the stove doing something for my mom. And I said, Mom, this is last year. I'm not doing this no more. This is it. Next year, we're going on a family trip. Like, we're doing something, a cruise, something.
I did see a post like that on TikTok.
Yeah,
where it's like, you know, we don't buy gifts. We go and spend vacations. I don't think we think about that. Like, you got $2,000 under the tree and you could have been in the hot tub.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to do next year. All the way. I already talked to my partner about it. We're taking these kids up out of here and we're going to have a good time. And all that gifts and, you know, their memories are going to be fond of them saying, hey, we went here for Christmas or we did this in the holiday season. Not we got this doll that they don't even know where it's at anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to do something different. And if that's like something that you're struggling with, seasonal depression, you know, try something different next year. That's what I recommend. Yeah.
Definitely. So we want to thank y'all for tuning in to the She Means Business podcast. Definitely check us out on YouTube. We want you to leave comments, give us feedback, and we're going to be dropping some questions that you can give us feedback, and we'll talk about them on the episodes. Jay, you got any last words?
Last words. No, I don't have anything. I'm just really excited that you are tuned in for, this is episode 3, right? Yeah, so exciting. We'll be back with episode 4 next week. We hope you have an amazing new year and that you're sitting down and writing these goals down and getting ready to you just make this year your best year, right? And we'll see you next time, next week. She Means Business podcast. Bye.